Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and today I'm bringing a new artist to the channel, that being Sam Robson. I had not come across Sam before, and his name came up on the VoicePlay Discord recently, and just a couple of days ago actually, and I had a look at his profile, and hey presto, there's some holiday music there, so I thought, why not? I was also intrigued because his thumbnails have, he does a cappella arrangements, and his thumbnails have 25, 30, 40 versions of him in them, which is quite extraordinary, and maybe I'm making a faux pas here, because the thumbnail for this song only has 3. Now, it's very possible it gets a lot bigger. It's also very possible it stays at that size. And either way, that's fine. I'm just conscious I might not be getting the typical Sam Robson experience here. But also, if somebody is used to doing that kind of scale, I'll also be intrigued to hear what they do. I feel like someone who knows harmony that well and can produce harmonies with that many versions of themselves probably knows how to do a harmony with 3 very well as well. So if it is small, I'm fine with that. And this song is Still, 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 which is a beautiful Austrian Christmas carol. And since it's holiday month here, obviously that was what I was going to look for. There was an arrangement of Silent Night from 7 years ago that looks like it has a bunch of versions of him in it that would be a bigger arrangement. But I saw this and I had to do it. This is one of my favourite carols to sing. It's absolutely beautiful. It's originated back in the 1800s, or at least that's the sort of first time it appeared, I think, in printed text. It's a folk tune from Salzburg, and it has words that were added to it by Georg Götsch, and I have sung this a bunch of times with choirs. I did it as a solo once, and it's such a beautiful piece of music. And I'm really interested to see what can be done with that to create a however many parts harmony this is going to turn out to be. I had a quick glance to see what was what, just in terms of the description here, just because I don't know much about Sam. He has been around for years. He's got a lot of very cool looking videos on his channel, so I'm sure this is not going to be a solo appearance. He mentions that this was released to Patreon Christmas last year. As I record this, it's been out on YouTube for about 3 weeks. And it's sort of, as is, I think, fairly standard for people who do this kind of video. He's got his tech, so he uses a Rode K2 microphone and a Chaotica eyeball and things like that. Like there's a distinct focus in the description of the tech that he uses, which I think it matters for stuff like this. People who do these sort of studio recordings of themselves at home or in a studio, it's always interesting to those who have an audio bent to understand what equipment is being used, so it makes sense that he's done that. Also looks like he does arrangements and video editing and stuff like that, which is kind of awesome. Anyway, I'm not going to take too long over this one. It looks like, just very briefly glancing down the description, looks like he's going to be singing in English rather than the German, which is absolutely fine. And yeah, I'm just very, very interested to see what happens. So, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. The way this is going to work, I watch the video through from beginning to end, and I just comment and emote over the top of it. Don't stop it at all. Then I will go back, watch it again from the beginning, and this time I will stop it. I will take note of things that I think are interesting. I will interrupt and offer what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on the foreknowledge of having seen it once before. Please do like the video, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to decide how often YouTube tells you I'm posting something if you are subscribed. And if you would care to donate to support the channel, you can do that by going to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, or on a more long-term basis by going to patreon.com/DavidKReacts. The Patreon is very new. There's just a single tier, and it's solely intended for those who wish to support the channel on a regular basis, but, you know, in a buy me a coffee scale. There are no crazy tiers yet. I'm hoping to add stuff later on down the line, but right now my time commitments in life don't really permit me to create the extra content that would make a higher level Patreon worth anybody's while. That is a future plan. Anyway, with all that said, and no further delay, let us jump into this. So this is going to be Sam Robson's a cappella arrangement of Still, Still, Still. Ooh. Ooh! Gorgeous right off the bat. Ooh. Oh, wow.
Still, 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 one can hear the falling snow.
Oh, his voice is gorgeous.
All is hushed, the world is sleeping. Holy star, its vigil keeping. Still, 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 one can hear the falling snow.
Lovely choice to start out solo, actually.
Sleep, sleep, sleep.
Oh, wow.
'Tis the eve of our Saviour's birth. The night is peaceful all around you. Close your eyes, let
Oh my goodness.
sleep surround you.
His harmony work is immaculate.
Sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Saviour's birth. Dream, dream, dream.
Oh, I love that
The
he's...
joyous day to come.
These lovely little embellishments each time. They're gorgeous. Very carefully placed.
Angels without number watch you as
Ooh.
you sweetly
You have a range on you, sir.
slumber. Dream, dream, dream.
Oh, wow.
Of the joyous day to come.
Oh, wow. That is gorgeous. Okay, I was not wrong. That harmony, my goodness. It's the lovely thing about Still, Still, Still is it's such a simple song. Ya da 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 da. Excuse me, what am I doing? Da 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 da. There's nothing complicated about that melody, and the world it opens up of harmonic possibilities is fascinating. And as a whole, I'd probably say most arrangements stay fairly close to what you would expect if you wrote it down and said, this is a choral Christmas carol, let's write it in that style. Hearing something like this, these jazzy elements that creep in here, the dissonance, those moments where we just have a passing note even that goes completely somewhere you don't expect it to, is so within the bounds of this breadth, this enormous breadth. And I think a lot of people don't think to go to those edge cases, and this is stunning. Wow. Oh my goodness, sir, you are a very, very good arranger. Also, beautiful voice quality. I love how much, obviously you can hear it's the same voice, but I love how much range he deploys in this. And the way I talk about this so often, it's a big thing for me, but this gradual increase of the breadth of the arrangement. We start out very tight. Well, we start out with a little bit of harmony, but then that solo verse is such a powerful beginning, because where do you have to go from a solo singer? Everywhere. And he just, this gradual expansion throughout. It's beautiful arrangement work. Excuse me. Beautiful arrangement work. Beautiful mixing. This is lovely. Let's go back and listen to this again. This I love. The beginning of this is so good. We have 4 notes, unison, fairly typical harmony. Unison, fairly typical harmony. What is this chord we just landed on? That major 7th. I can't decide. I'm assuming he's panned this kind of according to what's going on, in which case it's the Sam in the top right corner of the screen. But this, he lands da 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 da, and then he lands here, that harmony line, and then we get the ooh, down to that major 7th there. Oh my goodness. That is the introduction of that so early. It would have been, especially because he's going to start out solo, it would have been fairly easy to arrange this so that it's conventional chords until that solo part, and we don't go somewhere dissonant and unusual until after that. And I really enjoy the fact that he chose not to do that. He's coming in with an unexpected note on the 5th note of the song, still in the introduction. This lovely ooh quality that he has here. It's such a clean ooh. And it's allowing this really very pure sound to come out. So I keep going back on this opening 5 seconds, but it's just an immediate demonstration of the quality of the harmony we're going to get throughout this. And this is what I mean about this beautiful mixture he struck. I just want to go back not the full 5 seconds, whatever it is. Oh, I should have done. Never mind. That there is great, because the suspension that we have there, we have that beautiful suspended 4th, but as the chord comes in that has that 4th in it, it's something so much jazzier, but the 4th holds through. And it seems odd to describe it this way, but the blues chord that's there, or the jazzy chord that's there, I'm not going to identify what it is. For those who haven't seen my channel before, I do these recordings in a basement that does not have enough room for me to set up a piano, unfortunately. But the chord that he is singing there resolves to the suspension, which is brilliant. Like, it's set up by that 4th being in there before we get to the suspension. We hit the suspension, which is not a resolution really, which is why I say it's a funny way of putting it, but it resolves out of the jazz chord into the suspension, which is an expected device in something like this, and then the suspension resolves properly into the tonic. That is brilliant writing. That chord right there, and if you hear it, that is such brilliant writing, because you're leading that chord in. We hit this extraordinary chord, and we resolve out of it into something that has been set up. And the great thing about that is, you can do much more with harmony if you can use your something in that first chord to set up the second one, because the transition into it is immediately more credible, more easy to digest. It sounds right because we've led in, and that's exactly what he does here, and it's fantastic. Oh. He also gives him... Sorry, I keep stopping on the same thing. I'm sorry. Because he has that lovely chord set up already, he gives himself license to have this little embellishment in there. It's so subtle, but it sets up a lot of what's going to be coming later in the arrangement, and it gives it just a little tiny evolution in what's going on before we pull everything out and go back to this beautiful unison, beautiful solo singing that we're going to get for this next verse.
Stay.
I also love his use of negative space in this. There's obviously not going to be a crazy amount. Usually my reactions contain a lot of visual information. There can't really be that much to this because it's versions of him in front of a off-white background. There's only so much I can say about it. You know, I could talk about arrangements on the screen, but this isn't particularly complex, and so I don't think there's a huge amount there. There are some very lovely notes to it, however. One is he's got this beautiful sort of halo light coming from behind him. So we have just the outline of not even his entire head. We're not getting that the shine in the hair on top. We're getting it centered around his mouth. Like, that's where the highlight is. It draws the eye to his mouth, which is the instrument that we are witnessing in this video, which is a really smart move. I love the fact that he's using just a plain background. I think it works beautifully for the simplicity of the arrangement. I don't know if he does that for everything. This is a nice touch. Because of the way he's filmed these, what he's done, I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong about this, but what I think he's done is he himself hasn't moved at all. He's just moved the camera to here, and to here. Which means we get this lovely center point of the light because it's behind him. We can see it in the two shots where his face is facing this way. He was always facing this way. He's just moved the camera from here to here. And so we get this lovely light that kind of centers. And it's almost like there's a spotlight in the middle of the image. But not, if that makes any sense. I also presume, although it's hard to tell, again, I'm assuming he's done things with his panning. I'm assuming the person just to the right, the version of him just to the right, is panned to the right, and the version just to the left is panned to the left, in which case, you know, you're highlighting the melody in the center. And then the fact that he's not trying to fill the screen either. Especially here, we have this huge amount of black space. And what that's actually doing is it's drawing the eye further in. I'm watching this on a fairly big monitor. I have a monitor that's, what's the resolution? 2680 or whatever it is. Like, it's a fairly big monitor with a high resolution. I'm not sure what the dimensions of it are. But my eye is being drawn in to him all the time. There's nothing on the outside to catch my attention, and I think that's actually a really solid choice for a video like this. Anyway, let's go back on the beginning of this solo. Oh, and sorry. Everything all at once up front, but as I say, there's not a lot of visuals to this in terms of complexity for me to dig into in minutiae, but these fade-outs are such a good choice. It allows him to have a visual break that works with the ear to say, here's a new section.
Still, 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 one can hear the falling snow, for all is hushed, the world is sleeping. Oh.
I like the fact that he's not cutting his breaths out. I don't know if they've probably been reduced a little, I would think. But I mean, I'm guessing he has pretty good breath control because it doesn't sound like he's taking a big breath in, but these phrases are in, you know, there's a lot going on, and he's projecting nicely, so I feel like, you know, there's a fair amount of air going into these. But even so, we're just getting and carrying on. It's not like you know, it's not a big breath. You don't see his shoulders rise or him kind of like shift up. But I like the fact that it's in there in the background. It's just that it adds a certain, not live quality, that's not quite the right word, but there is, if that makes sense, there's this sort of like a live element to it. It makes it sound a little less studio processed, which is great. Oh, I keep doing this. Why do I keep doing that?
The world is sleeping, holy star, its vigil keeping.
What's also nice, because he's taking his time over this, we allow this, like, it's not, he hasn't this da 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 da. He's not doing this quick snatch breath that's so fast and then you carry on. He's not. He's allowing it to be very unrushed. Da 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 da. Na da da da. He's giving himself a pause there, which in the strict meter of what is written on the page, that's not what's written on the page. But why not? It's nice. It gives it a sense of being relaxed, of being calm. You know, this still. This isn't supposed to be a rushed, upbeat jazz number. It's meant to be much more of a relaxing vibe. And I think I love that he's given himself the license to do that by taking these pauses.
Still, 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 one can hear the falling snow.
Nice use of vibrato, incidentally. He's not going too crazy on it, but it's there. It's giving quality to these notes. But it's not, you know, it would be easy to overpower, especially in a solo line. If you've got too much vibrato in a voice that's sounding on its own, it starts to sound, you know, overdone. And that's not happening, and I love that. Again, nice little fade out to come back to the three cameras. This time we've inverted the look.
Snow. Sleep, sleep, sleep.
Oh, so much. First thing I just want to get out of the way is a lovely visual touch here. Now we have all three Sams facing forward. And one thing that really helps, if the two Sams on the bottom were doing the same thing that was happening before, where they were facing outwards, that spotlight that we saw previously would be right at the bottom of the screen, drawing our eye to the wrong place. So the fact that that is not happening right now, really smart decision. But listen to this motion in the harmony here. This is fantastic. Oops.
Sleep, sleep, sleep.
Sleep. Down there in that harmonic shift is beautiful, because usually your suspension is going to be the fourth to the third, and we end up on a tonic or something like that. What we've got here is the fifth to the fourth, which is such a beautiful motion to be actually doing as a suspension. It's not what you necessarily... It's not quite a suspension, that's the wrong word, because it is a change of chord. But the effect that we're getting is that of a suspension, and I really, really like his choice to do that. The other thing is, notice we're mirroring... Almost. It changes when we hit that fifth note that was such the focal point for the change of the harmony. But we're getting the same harmony for 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we had in the intro. Unison, out to the harmony, unison, out to the harmony. I don't know if it's exactly the same notes. I'm not going into that degree of detail of going back and checking and all that sort of thing. But it's familiar territory. And that allows then when we hit that fifth note and we get a different heart, we don't have that major 7, I don't think. Sleep. No, we do. But we have it in the context of having the fifth underneath it. We have the major 7th and the 5th, which gives it it's not the same context we had it in previously. This is a little more settled. It's got that quality of being a more recognizable chord within the key that we're in than whatever the chord structure was that he sang in the 5th note of the song. So it is a little bit of a surprise. And even though we're in the same territory, we're in it a little cleaner, and it's going somewhere. So he's given himself the license by doing those 4 harmonies that are pretty much the same, close enough. I'm going to say they're the same. If they're not, don't come at me. But they're close enough that it gives you that sense of familiarity. And then on note 5, he can go somewhere different, and it's a nice little surprise, even though it's actually less dissonant than it was at the start. This arrangement, man, it's so good.
Sleep, sleep is the eve of our Saviour's birth.
Now here's such an interesting thing. He's gone from having harmony... See, he goes in and out. There's so much to talk about here. Tis the eve, I think it is. Hang on, I'm going to go through this one thing at a time. There's a couple of things I want to talk about here. So, isn't this great? Tis the eve. On Tis the eve, we have 3 different degrees of the number of singers. Tis is just our melody singer on the top here. The bottom left singer, joins in. Eve, the bottom right singer, joins in. In the space of 3 notes, he has very subtly increased the harmonic breadth of the song, because even when you have 2 versions of yourself singing together, unless you have literally copy-pasted an audio line from one layer to another layer and now you have 2 of you singing identically, you're not going to be perfectly in phase. That is to say, the sound wave will fluctuate at slightly different points, and it does increase the depth of the sound a little bit. So even singing unison, there's a reason unison is not like solo extra or solo plus. It's slightly different.
Deep sleep is the eve of our Saviour's birth.
So on say of Saviour, everything comes together, and then we get this all of us, we split back out, but we split back out wider than we were before. This is so great because what he seems to be doing in this, and I'd be interested to know if this is like a big arrangement thing of his, because it's brilliant, is giving us some breadth, contracting back into the familiar territory, and then widening further than we were a note or 2 prior. And that's really interesting as a technique. It's not constantly building. It's this pulse almost, but every time it pulses, the next pulse is bigger. It's
The eve of our Saviour's birth.
Again, birth. There we have a fourth, what is almost sounds like a sus4. Again, not quite, it is actually a chord shift, but I love how much he's using this motion of just stepping down a semitone or a tone to give us so much variation in harmony under single notes. It's allowing this arrangement to be more complex with the simplest of devices. Really, really lovely.
Saviour's birth. The night is peaceful all around you.
Ooh, I was focusing on bottom left Sam here. The night around you. Lovely. Great choice of how to spread this out.
The night is peaceful all around you.
Oh, wow. So much more to this than I thought there was. I love this. Night is such a lovely sound to hold on, because it's a nice open, the night around you. What's also nice is round, night around. It's still that It's the same sound. So holding on night a long time, he can then sing around, and it's almost like a bit of punctuation. Night around. The is in there as like a reset. It's a lovely note to choose to hold on at that point in time. And then this lovely jump up there, but what the other harmony is doing at that point. The night, there's our major 7th again, around you. But where do we go here? Ooh, we go to the 2nd. So now we have, we have a minor 7th that's been created by the 2nd of the chord and the tonic an octave above it. That's not what you expect!
Your eyes, let sleep surround you.
What? What is happening? I can't with this. This is amazing. And yet all this time, unless I'm very much mistaken,
Close your eyes, let sleep surround you.
Melody Sam isn't doing anything that isn't written down. He's singing the melody as straight as you can, but it sounds so rich and unusual and going all over the place because of 2 lines. Sir, excuse you.
Your eyes, let sleep surround you.
Sleeps around you. Excuse me, 6th and 7ths here. What?
Your eyes, let sleep surround you.
Sleep. We've basically gone momentarily relative minor. Because we have 6ths and tonics. Sleeps around you. There's the tonic and the 2. And we have the 6th and the 7th. And so we've momentarily gone relative minor, but with just 2 lines. And so is it? Really? Or is what exactly is going on here? It's lovely what he's doing. It's such smart harmonization. Because it's making this whole arrangement sound fuller by implication of what else could be there, which is masterful. This is where I'm really glad, actually. I don't know if I am getting the typical Sam Robson experience by doing a version that only has 4 of him, maybe? I need to figure out what the 4th one was doing when it came in. I didn't quite catch that. But almost exclusively 3 of him as opposed to 50. And he's still making this sound so big by implication of what fills out these chords. And that's one of the great things in harmony, and I think it's something I need to learn to be better at when I'm writing music. You don't have to have every single note of your intended harmony there if you can trick the ear into filling in the gaps. And I feel like that's what he's doing here. This is magnificent.
Your eyes, let sleep surround you. Sleep
Oh!
surround you.
Notice we've hit you. Listen to the next note, what these 2 do at the bottom.
Sleep,
It's so simple.
let sleep surround you. Sleep.
All that happens is the one on the right goes down a tone from the 6th to the do, down to the 5th. And now we've resolved back into... we're back in the tonic again. It's so simple. The motions are so slight, but they have such a profound impact on what's happening around them.
Sleep, sleep, sleep.
Ooh, that 5th holding through there is gorgeous. And notice, sleep, sleep. He's done the same thing again. He's gone back to that harmony that we had at the beginning. Again, not sure if it's 100% the same. I feel like it might be. But he's using this trick of coming back to this common ground and then doing something different again.
Sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Saviour's birth.
You'll have noticed when I was watching this through, there was a momentary flicker there where I brought my mouse onto the screen. For those who haven't seen my videos, I don't have YouTube Premium, so I try and catch the end of a song so I don't get adverts start playing. And that was such a perfect ending. I actually thought that was going to be I didn't think 3 minutes had gone by, but also I was so captivated, it was quite possible it had done. And that is such a beautiful ending there. That very typical, the sort of hymn ending. And just the way that he lets it sit is what made me really think, oh, maybe this is the end of the song. And it's because he's taking his time. I love that he's not afraid to leave space where all we hear is reverb and decay. We don't hear a live sound. And then there's just that catch breath that tells you, no, wait, there's something else coming.
Dream, dream, dream.
I beg your pardon, sir. What is this?
dream,
Dream, dream, dream, dream, dream, dream. That is a stunning line. 2371. Yeah, 23715 going down. That is gorgeous. And this, what's the right one doing? This, here's. What is even happening there? Oop. I can't hear that very first note. Dream, 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 dream. I think is what's happening there. While you have this, so he's going solely down, with the exception of that little tip up. Meanwhile, the Sam on the left is coming down, but it's coming down by this kind of wave almost. Dream, dream, dream. The trajectory is downwards, but we go up each time. The passing note isn't. It would be easy to do kind of like a dream, 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 and the passing notes be on the way down, but his passing notes are up. It's like he's tilting up each time and just sliding down. What brilliant writing! You're getting full-on music theory, David, right now, because this is sparse enough harmony for me to really be able to dig into the weeds of what's going on here in a way that when you have 5 voices happening, especially with kind of well-written close harmony stuff and things like that, it's harder to do. This is, my goodness. Also notice this is the first time, I think, that we're not getting the starting harmony on the dee 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 dee. Why do I keep singing that wrong? Dee 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 dee. We're getting something different here. Now we fully evolved. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Again, if you haven't been on my channel before, I will always block out if I accidentally minimize this, just because I have tabs open left, right, and center, and my work is behind NDAs and so on and so forth. But yeah, this is the first time we've now fully evolved out of that initial harmonic movement. We've got something completely different here.
dream of the joyous day to come.
Woohoo! Excuse me. Now we have this amazing, we're not just stuck to crotchets now. Actually, technically they're not. They're quavers, I think, if you look at it written down. I'm trying to think how it's written. Anyway, regardless, we have notes half the length coming in now, which we didn't really have before. If anything, we had notes double the length. Now we're doing something completely different.
Stay to dream of the joyous day.
Joyous day. Like da 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 da. It's not da 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 da. We've got a lot more movement happening now. Again, another evolution. We haven't just evolved in our harmonic complexity. We've now evolved in the how many notes we're fitting into a specific amount of the meter. This is great.
Of the joyous day to come.
What the? What was that?
Joyous day to come.
Oh, so much creeps by because it's been so well put into this arrangement. My mind is melting right now at how much is crammed in with 3 singers, one of whom is basically doing nothing out of the ordinary. This is genius.
Joyous day to come.
They're both doing independent embellishments in terms of timing, in terms of notes, in terms of harmonic progression, and yet it sounds, if you listen to this without really paying attention, you probably wouldn't even notice. Moving on. I will, I promise.
Angels without number.
And now we go back into a timing that makes much more sort of sense to the original kind of choral concept of everything moving in unison, not harmonically speaking, but in terms of the rhythm. So the harmony gets weird. The give and take here is so nice. He almost maintains a balance in here, like the how far he's playing with the rhythm goes down, so the harmony goes up, so that the balance of the scales always tips back to being about the same. And that's not to say that it's not, you know, there isn't a breadth of experimentation and discovery going on in these chords and this rhythm and all that sort of stuff, but it's not like the rhythm gets more... It's not this constant escalation of rhythm's more complex. Okay, so the harmony comes to meet it, and then it goes over the top, and then and you end up chasing up a ladder. He's balancing within phrases very, very carefully, so that the arrangement is slowly evolving instead of getting away from itself. Really nice work. Also notice the two lower Sams now are just ever so slightly offset against the camera, so that we're just getting a little bit of that kind of panned out look, but not the full way, so that we have that, this sort of isometric view almost. We're not getting that here. We are. It's much more slight than it was earlier. Just a subtle change, but I love that he's done it. What do we even land on there, on the of number?
Without number.
We're up on the second there.
Angels without number. Angels without number.
Interesting, so we have the fifth and the second as harmonic support for the third. That's fascinating. Because what we've effectively got there is a tonic chord with an added second, but the tonic is missing. And it's a second inversion, so we have the fifth on the bottom. Or arguably, we have a dominant chord with an added sixth. They're the same thing, depending on how you want to express it. But that's a fascinating sound to end a phrase on.
Watch you as you sweetly slumber.
Okay, and here melody Sam plays around as well.
As you sweetly slumber.
And he's been fairly calm in terms of how much... There's been a little bit, sure, but it's been mostly the harmony Sams that have been mucking around a bit, and now he gets a little section. Again, evolution, lovely stuff. But what's happening here? My goodness.
You sweet, watch you as you sweet.
That's lovely, because we get a descending arpeggio of the fifth. Ba, 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 and then it just tilts back up again to the tonic as we resolve that. That's a lovely motion. And then we have over that.
Watch you as you sweetly.
Yours, so... Was that it?
Watch you.
So that's lovely, because we have the fifth up top and the major seventh. So we have a major third chord in the dominant being sung by the two harmonies to start, which is a lovely sound.
As you sweetly slumber.
What? I love that. Here's the second harmony's line is do do do. So he comes down onto the dominant as the first harmony is coming down to the major seventh, but then stays on the dominant. This is exactly the same thing I was talking about before. Listen to You Sweet on right hand, Sam.
Watch you as you sweetly.
Same thing. He sings the same note, and it's a nice little continuation into that resolution there. It's a simple thing. This one's not really anything particularly fancy, but it's just lovely that he's using that device throughout the song to anchor the harmonies before they even come in. Really, really nice choice. And then what goes on here? Yeah, it's the work that he's la slumber, go up to the tonic, back down to the dominant again. He's just moving around some very simple motions, but because of the way he's constructed them, it sounds so much more complicated.
Watch you as you sweetly slumber.
Sweetly slum. I think something like that. These little embellishments in the harmony are beautiful because they don't intrude. I think that's what I've been trying to get at the whole time through this. There's nothing intrusive, even though a lot is happening. Because we've established a slightly jazzy, slightly dissonant harmony from the very outset, that fifth chord, right back at the beginning of the song, has given license for all of this to happen. And here we have a slight evolution of that original harmony, mostly when we get down to that fifth note, where we have the lovely, lovely motion in the harmony there. And then this fourth Sam comes in, and I'm trying to ascertain quite what he's doing. I'm assuming, maybe this is my headphones failing me, I'm assuming he's just very subtly reinforcing something down there, because I'm not sure I'm hearing a fourth note. Because we have we've got a tonic, a second, and a fifth. I can't figure out what Sam 4 is doing. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could surmise it based on what happened next. I'm not 100% sure what's happening there, actually. If anyone knows, do say something down in the comments. I may be missing something really obvious there. I'll try listening to this on a couple of different sets of headphones before I edit, so that if I do have missed something silly, I'll put a note here. But I can't quite figure out what's happening there. Anyway, let's go. This last bit of harmony here is... And it is that same thing. Dee, 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 dee. So we go down to the fifth, there's the dee, and there's the dee. So now we have a major second that doesn't have the third in it. So it's a similar chord to what we had before, but it's voiced differently. And we've removed a different note from what could be there. This is my brain cannot get over the quality of the harmony writing in this.
Of the joyous day to come.
Oh, that time I think I got something. Let me go back on all of this because... That's English. I love that jump. The joyous day. I love how he's playing with where the harmonies are. Like, just because something's down here doesn't mean it's not going to be up here a minute later. There's a lot going on here, and it's just, it's masterful. Of the joyous day. That's even lovely, the stay. Just that subtle motion there in the middle of that chord is beautiful. To come. the quality and the simplicity of that motion and that final chord is four different things there, I think. Yeah, because there's the just going piece by piece, the upper harmonies. There's the come, and on that little re-emphasis there, and there isn't really even a re-emphasis. The second harmony, the lower harmony. Oh no, hang on. Oh no, there isn't. It's just the addition of the bass. How does it sound like there are 4 notes there, but there are only 3? I'm sorry, I'm just listening now, but I'm fascinated to figure this out. Oh, that's so subtle. Come. As he goes into the there's a slight scoop. And that's tricking the ear into thinking that there is a different chord there than there actually is. And then, as it settles into the final section, we get... Now, what I'm 99... It's so quiet in the background, but bass Sam here on the very left is adding an octave down. Very quietly. You can see his mouth isn't open. He comes in on the I don't think there's an impact entrance. It's just the gentle entry of that. It's so quiet, it's almost a trick of the ear, I think. Is it? Am I hearing that, or is that a ghost note? I actually can't tell. It's been... I assume that's what Sam 4 is doing there. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That is crazy. I am so impressed with the quality of the harmony that Sam has put into this. It is astonishing. And so detailed, with only 3 voices, almost exclusively. And in some ways, you know, only 2 voices really doing anything that isn't just printed on the paper as the melody line. Yes, the melody does a little bit of stuff here and there, but not a lot. That is mind-bending. Well played, sir. I am so impressed with that. That's astonishing. I'm really, really impressed. My goodness, what a discovery. I'm so grateful. This was Anna, I think, on the forums who brought this to my attention. Or rather, just, you know, posted it and it caught my eye. I am very grateful to you for doing that. Thank you. This is fantastic, and I'm really excited to see more of what Sam does in the new year. I need to go back and study this in even more detail, because this is it's just brilliant. It really, really is. Thank you very much for watching this with me. I hope I brought something to the table for you here, some new perspective on something, or the Sam himself. Still, if you've never heard it before. It's a stunning carol. Listen to it sung in German too. I've actually never sung it in English myself, and it's absolutely beautiful in German too. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button, go hit that notification bell so you can choose your preferences of notification frequency. And if you would care to, please do head to either buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts or patreon.com/DavidKReacts. I didn't say this earlier, but signing up to my Patreon also gives you access to my Discord. It would be wonderful to see you there. No pressure, of course. Thank you very much indeed for joining. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an absolutely marvellous morning, afternoon, evening. 5:23 p.m. Yeah, you, Frank. If there's a Frank watching this at 5:23 p.m., I will be very amused. Anyway, take care. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.